Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world today watching. Thank you for tuning into the channel. Hey, listen, we've been getting some questions recently, and I've been talking with some clients who want to come down and live on Ambergris Caye. And they just want to make sure that what they're budgeting as far as expenses are in line with what the actual costs are. And so they're asking me the question, how much does it actually cost to live on the island? And if you've been watching my videos for a while now, you know that I have a really hard time coming up with a budget for other people because how you live and how we live could be completely different things. The things that we save money on, that we skimp on, might be things that you have a huge budget for. And at the same time, the things that Steph and I spend money on that we like to do and enjoy and have might seem crazy to you. So each person has their own little, way of handling their finances. But I'm going to put together this video just to help you get an idea of what some of the line items should be as you look at your budget for a move to Belize, things you might not have thought about, things you might already have planned for. But let me just kind of go through briefly. So when you're going through this, take out a piece of paper, maybe get yourself an Excel spreadsheet, and just start to plug in some of these things. And it's not real complicated. There's not a lot of unknowns when it comes to living in Belize. There's no gotchas. There's no big like, oh my goodness, I didn't think about that. But this video just might help with some of that stuff. All right. So first of all, let's tackle your living expenses as it comes to where you're going to live. All right. So are you going to rent something or are you going to have your own home? Now, of course, those are two completely different scenarios, but they each come with an investment as an expense. So for example, if you own your own home, all right, so if you come down, you buy a lot at Secret Beach, you build yourself a nice Belizean hardwood home, it's furnished, it's ready to go, you move in, all right, what are your expenses now with that? Well, you're going to have some insurance on that. And depending on what you build, do you build out of concrete? Do you build out of wood? You're going to have some cost to insure that every year. That could be $1,500 a year, it could be $3,000 a year. It just depends on the size of the home and all sorts of other factors. You're going to have some property taxes, and you're also going to pay your own utilities and maintenance. All right, so you're going to have some costs there involved. Now, if you're building a home off grid, so for example, at Secret Beach, then your utilities are going to be very minimal because you're going to be using solar for power. So you're not going to have an electric bill. You're going to be using rainwater cisterns. You're not going to have a water bill, things like that. You're still going to pay for your internet, maybe some, not cable, but your internet. So you got to look at those types of things. Now, if you're going to rent, then the numbers become a little easier to figure out because you're just showing up in the island. And I have a number here of, say, $1,500 for rent. That gets you a nice 2-bedroom apartment with some beautiful views. That number could go up, it could go down drastically, just depends on, are you moving down as a single person, married couple with the family? So I just put the number 1,500 because that's what I feel Steph and I would be comfortable paying anywhere on the island. Your electric, again, we pay a high electric bill because of Steph's health. She needs it very cool in the house. So we always are running the ACs. So our electric bill is about $300 a month. Water is cheap, $40 a month, internet 100, cable 30. All right. So these are your basic utilities that you're responsible for if you're renting. All right. Again, you have your own home. These numbers can go up or down depending if you're on grid, off grid. Now, once you have your housing figured out, then you got to look at your actual cost to live. All right. So again, I spend a tremendous amount of money on food. I eat a lot of high quality protein. And so, for me, I'm eating the way my body needs to eat to feel at my best. All right. So I don't know what that looks like for you. I don't know if you're the kind of person that makes all your own food at home. So for example, if you like to cook, and you like to eat what the local Belizeans eat, for the most part, that's chicken, rice and beans, fried plantain, all those staple products are extremely low in price. So I don't know, can you eat on $10 a day? I think you can eat on $10 a day pretty good, and still have some niceties in there. But the time, how much does it cost to buy some rice and beans and make yourself some flour tortillas, buy a little chicken if you need some fresh fruits, veggies? I don't know, $10 a day. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know, but that's just the number I came up with. Now, when it comes to if you drink alcohol, if you drink a little wine, all right, you got to know that wine in Belize is all imported and it can be pretty expensive. You're talking, let's say $15 a bottle US. So if you drink a half bottle a day, $7.50 US. So, your alcohol budget could be a little larger. If you drink some, a couple of local beers, if you want to buy a bottle of local rum, I think a bottle of local rum is like, I don't know, 12, $15 US. There you go. How much rum do you drink? You times it by the number of days in a month. There you go. You should be able to figure that out for yourself. After you fed yourself, you got to think about your health care. All right. So most people that come down to Belize just self-insure. All right. They don't have any sort of insurance because the medical care in Belize is very good. And even if something does go wrong, it's not going to bankrupt you usually, even if you need something major done. But if you want the comfort level, like what Steph and I do, we have a global policy on ourselves that covers us in every country in the world. If we were just in Belize, we would probably go with RF&G, which is a local Belize insurance company. Think about that. You're spending about $150 a month for that, right? Then you got to go on to your on-island entertainment. How do you want to live? All right. So once you've fed yourself, you got your housing taken care of, you got your health taken care of. Now, what are you going to do with your time? All right. I got to go to Secret Beach, swim in the beach every afternoon, take walks, work out at the gym, run on the beach, whatever you want to do. Think about what those types of things are going to cost you per week. You're going to go out to a restaurant, a local one compared to maybe a more touristy one like Victoria House or Bata Chica. How much are you really going to spend doing things to keep yourself occupied, right? Or maybe you're down there working, so you're working 8 hours a day at your online job or your business. So maybe you're spending less on lifestyle, more, just depends. After that, you take a look at your transportation. All right, do you live somewhere centrally located where you can just walk everywhere or jump on your bike, or do you have a golf cart? Right, golf cart's going to run you, used golf cart, probably around $6,000-7,000. I think is reasonable for a used golf cart. Gas in the golf cart, depending on how much you drive, you're probably going to spend $20 a week in gas. Insurance per year, $80 a year to insure the thing. All right. But on top of that, what I consider these are your monthly expenses. In other words, what do you need to spend every 30 days to live on the island? All right. And so again, you're working with your own spreadsheet, working with your own little, pros and cons of where I want to save money, where I want to splurge a little bit. You also have to add back in as an expat your annual expenses. All right. So for example, that can be inter-Belize related. Do you see yourself wanting or needing to go to the mainland for anything once a month, once every couple months, either just for some travel, some experiences, or maybe you want to go and, buy a new mattress for the house. So I go to Belize City for that. So there's some cost involved in going there. So think about your inter-Belize travel. And that's, again, pretty easy to research on your own. How much is the water taxi? Or if I want to take Tropic Air, then once I get there, I got some taxis I need to, pay for and things like that. But your bigger one can be this international travel. All right. So you're an American couple, you come down to Belize or from Canada, and you say to yourself, okay, you know what? Belize is my home. This is where I'm relocating to. I have sold my home, my cars, everything in the States. Belize is now home. Now, what happens when you get the call? Hey, so-and-so is having a baby. I want to go see the grandkids. So-and-so is getting married. I want to go back to the States because I don't know. That's where I want to go back to at least once a year. So what is that going to cost you? Because now you're reverse vacationing. All right. You are paying for flights and car rentals and hotels, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe you're going back and staying with family for a couple of weeks or a month, a year, and they have a car for you to use. So you just got to get back there with a flight. So those are just some of the things that you need to think about when it comes to an annual budget. All right. So listen, I'm not trying to be vague here. I'm not trying to avoid the question of how much it costs to live. Personally, Steph and I had a very, very good friend of ours come down from Florida, American couple. They lived on about $1,000 a month. Their rent was like $550 or $600 a month. They had a small apartment, $600 a month in rent, and they didn't use much electric, and their food was $400, and they lived good and lived like this the entire, for years at a time, right? I couldn't do that myself. I need a little bit more. But you think about that, okay, if you just add up, you got your rent here, your utilities, all right, you got a couple grand in there, so maybe you got a couple grand with that scenario. And then you add another, 500 to $1,000 a month with some food, some gym memberships, some lifestyle things, so you're up to what, say, $3,000 a month to live. And then maybe you add another, $500 a month with some annual expenses. All right. And I'm talking like for a more of a westernized lifestyle now. So let's say you had, let's say you're living the good life on Ambergris Caye, right? 3,000 a month, add 500 for a buffer. So you got 3,500 a month with some international travel in there, times 12. You're looking at about 42,000 a year. All right. And of course, this is after taxes, right? So 42,000 a year to rent a beautiful place, to have cold AC every day, to go out to eat, to have your insurance and your health covered, to go to the mainland, to go back to the US or wherever else in the world you want to go. All right. So this is a pretty good lifestyle, I would say, at the upper end, 42,000 a year. I don't know what you would do if you had a bigger budget. So for example, if you wanted to up that a little bit and think, okay, do I want some money for some additional investments or, whatnot, or I could greatly reduce that. Obviously, you can rent a place a lot cheaper. You can, just eliminate or cut down a lot of these expenses, live a lot cheaper. But I'm saying for just budgeting purposes, maybe that's a number. All right, take it or leave it, adjust it up or down, however you see fit. All right, hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this gave you some things to think about today. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and put it in the comments below. If you want to reach out, I'll put my email address in the video description. And as always, appreciate your support. If you like these videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And hopefully we're going to be able to do some business together. Some real estate, maybe some investing together. And I hope to see you in Belize real soon. All right, take care. Have a wonderful day and talk to you soon.